Hello everyone, this is Cyrus.
And Amanda.
And welcome to the premiere of Season 2,
the Gowns and Crowns podcast,
where we talk all things pageantry. So Amanda, tell our viewers today, who do we have? Well, who is our guest today and what are we going to be talking about?
This is the beautiful Brittany, also known as the Magic Maker. Thank you for this coif we got going on right here.
Of course.
We're talking all things hair with our professional hair girl today.
So we've done a lot of episodes, we've done 3 episodes with Corey about makeup. Corey King Makeup, for those who have watched our podcast, know that he's a professional makeup artist that we've brought on. But we got several emails actually where girls will say, you've done so much on makeup because you talk about hair. And that's a very important thing, because one thing I can say from my experience is I've seen girls whose makeup hasn't been the best and they get up on stage like a superstar. They get up in a gown that's not the best and they get up on stage like a superstar. But girl, you let one hair be out of place and they have a complete meltdown before that pageant.
Yes.
It's the weirdest thing. It always comes down to the hair, which puts the pressure on you and people in the industry like you. So before we get started on pageant hair, Britt, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Hello everyone, my name is Brittany Mills, also known as Beauty by B. I have been in the beauty industry for 8 years now, and I have to give certainly all my credit to Cyrus and Corey, which I always get a little emotional about, because if it weren't for y'all, then I wouldn't be here. But yes, I started doing pageants back in high school. It was my freshman year of high school. And I actually won that year, thanks to Cyrus's coaching
She
and
wandered
Corey's.
into the studio.
The monster was created.
Exactly, and Corey's amazing makeup skills. And ever since then, I just found so much beauty within the industry. And then, lo and behold, a couple of years passed, and then my freshman year of college, Corey called me and said, look, no one can do hair as good as you, and you've always done your hair so well, so I need some help because we have a huge pageant this weekend. And of course, we're familiar with Miss Wildcat, which is so mmany gals in the pageant, and he was like, look, we need some hair assistants. So I was like, okay. I have no idea what a pin curl is, but I'll show up. And so that's what I did. That Saturday, I showed up and I learned what it was, and then I've never looked back. I definitely think that hair is trial and error, but also too, speaking of pressure within the pageant industry, it's a lot of pressure for those doing the hair and also makeup. But it all comes down to working with the gal. And so over the course of years, I've seen a lot, I've heard a lot, I've done a lot, and you have to build that relationship as well. I think hair is almost like a security blanket for a lot of girls.
I agree with that 100%.
And even Cyrus, when I started, I actually had hair. Of course, it's long now, but
You had too much.
We had the sister wives hair. We were going. We had the sister wives hair, but it does.
Girl, she pretty bit of hair.
We had to cut a few inches off. That's okay. But it really does. You have to, 1, build a bond with the girls, and also 2, find what's best for them, and also pay attention to their coach and what's going to look best with their dress, with their face shape, with their hair color. It makes a huge difference. So yeah, that's a little bit, and I just found a beauty in it and a love for it. And of course, Beauty by B, like I said, I've been in the industry for 8 years and kept it running.
I think one big question that a lot of girls ask that I know of is because there's kind of, when it comes to makeup sets.
Yes.
It's predictable. If you've got a good makeup artist, makeup is predictable.
Yeah.
You can have the best hair person, ladies, on the planet, but there are so many other factors that go into it, like the weather.
There are.
Or what did you do to your hair that morning before you showed up? So
Yes.
I always like for someone who's because I've never had to worry about, whether I was going to curl my hair or anything like that.
You've had to worry about my hair.
But I've had
What
to
are we
worry
going to
about
do
your
with these 3 strands?
And I'm always the one who gets the phone call when they've melted down at a pageant because they don't like their hair. And I'm always like, well, go back and talk to the hair girl. And they're like, well, I did. But tell us, Britt, how can a girl, when she shows up to sit in your chair, to have her hair done for that pageant, you only have X amount of time to get her ready. Yeah. How can she be best prepared to help you? Because you're not a robot. Absolutely. You're a person too.
Thank you.
You're a person too. No, but a lot of times when these people talk about their hair and makeup artists, they talk about them like they're robots. Like I can just do, and that you can do 20 girls in a row and it's not, it's not stressful.
Yes.
And it's not stressful.
Exactly. So one, like you said, with the weather, I think that is a huge factor. Even sleeping in hotel rooms, which typically when pageants happen, we are always traveling and in hotel rooms. That weather from the AC unit can literally make a difference because of the humidity. But to try and fight all different factors, it is best that you show up with clean hair, but not the morning of. And I always say...
So what does that mean? Like wash it the night before?
Right.
Okay, wash it the night before.
So even with the old wives' tale, and it's kind of challenging, but you have to know your hair. And if you do not know your hair, then reach out to the artist that is doing your hair, because they actually need to know what hair texture you have, the density of your hair, how thick your hair is. All of those things are going to take into account for how your hair presents the day of pageant. So with the old wives' tale, it's, dirty hair is better. While yes, for some,
Not like 2
while
weeks.
yes,
It's not
for
the rule of thumb.
some,
Okay.
that does work. On others, it does not. So for instance, I'm going to use our lovely Miss Amanda here. Exhibit A. So with her hair, she has more finer strands of hair. If you were to show up with, let's say, 3-day-old hair, what that's going to do is the oil is going to coat those strands of hair and weigh your hair down. Therefore, the volume that we always seek after in a pageant, it's not going to happen because the oil is so heavy on your fine hair. Whereas someone with extremely coarse hair, that oil is then absorbed and used for the advantage.
Gotcha.
So, first step, reach out to your hair artist to figure out what type of hair you have. 9 times out of 10, if you wash your hair the night before, you must blow dry your hair. That's another thing that I always tell our girls. A lot of ladies are going to bed with their hair wet. That is a no-no, even with hair health. Even with hair health.
Really?
Do not go to bed with your hair wet.
I did not know that.
Yes. You want to first have it air dried for about 75%, and then you want to blow it out to really get a maximum volume style and really good healthy hair. So, another thing in the pageant world, extensions.
And Brett, talking about hair extensions, there's so many different hair extensions you can have, and we could do a whole podcast on that, but you don't have to have the sew-ins, you don't have to have the cylinders, you don't have to have the hand-tied ones. You can do just the clip-ins. It's a temporary fix for a one-day pageant. Well, you can do it for a 3-day pageant, as long as you've got somebody who knows how to put them in. But tell us about, I always laugh because you were the one who sat me down and said, quit telling girls with good hair they don't need hair extensions, because they're going to get beat by a girl with a head full of extensions, because a girl with no extensions hair is going to fall naturally. A girl with hair extensions hair is not going to fall. And then the girl with pretty natural hair is going to look stringy by the end of the pageant. So I had to learn that lesson because I was a big believer if you had pretty hair, you didn't need extensions. And she went, no, that's not how that works.
Now,
She goes, but you're cute. That's not how that works.
I can say, of course, we have a few that are God's favorite. So they come in with truly extension hair with no extensions. In fact, I had a client just this past weekend. You think that she has a head full of extensions, and she was truly just blessed by God.
Good for her.
Yes, I mean, the hair gods, they anointed her for sure.
Right, let's talk about the other 99% of the population.
Correct.
Exhibit A yet again.
Exhibit A.
Once again, it truly is, y'all, going back to that relationship building of first just having a conversation and knowing your hair. Some gals, they don't need it, but the other 99%, typically you do. The weather, all things taking into consideration, your hair is going to fall. So therefore, having that security of the extension can help you a lot. And once again, with extensions, it's fighting those maybe more natural strands that could potentially get weighed down by some oil and holding on to that texture that curls are needed for such long pageant days, because let's be real, they're so long.
Right.
So long. But with the extensions, they don't have to be extremely fancy smancy. I actually have a link that I can provide to for extensions, clip-ins that are so reliable. I even use them myself. And there are multiple different shades, but also too, once again, consulting with your hair artist. I would love to do it, but sometimes I'm booked up. So whoever you trust in, making sure that you're choosing the right ones as well to match the hair.
And how do you find the right hair person?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so many people out there.
There
Where do
are.
you start? What do you do?
Yeah. So being as candid and transparent as possible. I think in this industry, you have to be careful with those that price gouge.
Yes.
A
And
lot.
you have to be careful the ones who are egomaniacs.
That part.
Yeah.
And
I'll say it. I'm not
Yeah,
scared.
and they're not the ones
Give me a
competing.
microphone. I'll say it louder.
exactly, for
Because
the
I'm the
ones
one
in
who
the
has
back.
to put up with the meltdown from the girl when you have an egomaniac hairstylist or makeup artist that isn't listening to the contestant or her mom. And I'm like,
Exactly.
at the end of the day, you're being paid for a service.
Yeah.
And if you can't provide that service, then you should give their money back.
Right.
That's
Right.
just how that is.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yes, and there's a balance, truly. So once again, going back to that relationship and knowing your artist and how they work, and also to your artist knowing how the moms and the daughters work as well, because it's a whole bond at the end of the day.
I agree.
Of course, you find that you're working with a client for the very first time, and you just have to ask them the simple questions. But being on the other side as the contestant, really doing your research, seeing the other hair that they've done previously,
Right.
and also even connecting with the clients that they've done, asking them, do you think that they could work with my hair? How did your experience go? Or you could look on my page and I post everyone's reviews, and knock on wood, we've got some good reviews. But I think finding the right person is really doing your research, but also to having level-headed and grounded expectations.
I agree with that.
That's really, really big. Unfortunately, we're not all made the same, but also fortunately as well, some people do have different hair strands and what they can bring to the table. Having appropriate expectations is really, really important because we're not machines, we're not robots, and unfortunately, I cannot perform miracles.
Right.
So therefore,
This is not Jesus hair.
right. If you can work with me, I can work with you. And making sure, I also do weddings. And sometimes girls will come to me and show me maybe an Instagram photo or a Pinterest photo, and it's AI. And I look at them and I say, okay, I see where you're wanting to go. And I see what you're offering. Now, here's what I can give you that mimics closely to this photo. Because I'm going to be honest with you, this is AI. This is probably, if it's not AI, she has probably 17 rows of extensions in her hair.
Yep.
And
Right.
unfortunately, you did not provide me with any extensions. A side note here, some girls, even if they do offer extensions,
Still not going to
it still kind of counteracts because of the root of the hair is that thin. So taking that into consideration too. But making sure, once again, that relationship building, talking, chatting, and the expectations being like, okay, here's my hair, here's what I'm going for, what can we do to work as a team? Because that's how I treat my clients. They become family. It's not, here's my wallet, here's my bank account, fill it, and I'm going to give you what I want.
Yeah, unfortunately that's what we run into every now and then.
spoken.
And you were talking about, we were also talking about like knowing your hair. Amanda has beautiful hair, but Amanda's hair would never hold a curl. So on the pageants that were most important to Amanda, she wore her hair up so that no one was struggling with trying to make her hair do something it would not do. But she was realistic about it. I have great hair, it just doesn't curl. So I'm not gonna have a big head full of, bouncy hair. But she always looked amazing with her hair up. And I thought, knowing that about yourself and being confident enough to go forward with what works with you, even if it's against the trend, sometimes
Own it.
it works in your,
You never know. You could be that trendsetter.
Oh, I agree.
Starts it.
I agree. I also think when it comes to hair, it's very important to know your pageant.
Yes.
The reality is, y'all, you should be able to be yourself, but some pageants just like hair. And it's like, and you can look, if they've crowned 85 girls and none of them have ever had their hair up, you might want to rethink that up hairdo.
Let's just move to the next pageant.
Or find a pageant where you can truly, truly, truly shine in that arena. I also think it's important to note, some of you girls out there are better at doing your own hair. And then as a pageant coach, I've seen you hire people to do your hair, and you're miserable because you've spent money just to turn around and go, well, I should have just done my own hair.
Right.
Well, you should have. Do not be afraid to do that. Hire somebody to do your makeup and do your own hair, because if you can do it better than somebody else, then why are you going to take the risk of having somebody do your hair? You always did your own hair.
Exactly.
That's why Corey was so in love with you. He's like, oh my God, a girl who can do her own hair. I can do her makeup, and I don't have to worry about anybody coming to do her hair.
Right, right.
Even on 19,000 inches of it, she could do. She could put a curl in anything in that hair.
Exactly, and that's so important too. And it's like you said, know yourself and know what you're capable of, and also what your hair is capable of. I truly believe that everyone's head has a mind of its own.
I agree.
My hair, when someone else touches it, it rages. It's like, who is this person? Get her out. We don't like it. We're not going to cooperate whatsoever. I do it, and it's like, okay, I guess I'll work with you today. So if that's the case, own it. Honestly, walking into a pageant and being like, yeah, I did my hair, and people are like, oh my God, I just paid $300, $400 that these outrageous prices are now.
And I don't even like it.
And I'm mediocre about it, you know? So if you can do it, honey, pop off. Do it.
I think you actually brought up a really good point a moment ago when you mentioned that girls bring you a picture that's AI. So it's kind of an unrealistic version of what's going to happen on your head. On the other side of that, I want to make mention of, when you have your headshots done,
Oh, Lord.
please do not have your photographer edit you, which they love to do. If you come in and if your hair's a 7, please do not let them give you 107 worth of hair, because you're never going to look like that in person.
Walk in and be like,
Yeah,
where
you might
is
have
her
pretty hair, but now I've noticed a lot of these photographers, when they're editing the photo, they'll take pretty hair and then they bump it up to something unrealistic. So you've already set your judge up to be disappointed in your hair, because it's never going to look like that photo.
Exactly.
Your picture, the hair in your picture, wow, yes, it's okay to edit a little bit of volume, but don't edit your hair into an AI version of your hair that it can never, ever be. And I see that a lot now.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually have clients come up to me and show me their headshot. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, if we split it down the middle and the back, move all of our hair forward, we push it up with some clips in the back, sure. But what happens on stage when you turn around, you got a hole in the back of your head?
Right.
You know? So, once again, that balance. And once again, those expectations, being real with yourself, knowing your hair, all of that. Yes, we can give you a version, but making sure that that version is realistic, because I can't send you out with it boomed up.
Yeah,
you know, in your
with
face.
photography hair, thinking that it's going
right.
to work on stage. And I applaud girls who they have a great headshot. I'm just the type of judge that if you don't look like your headshot, I am going to hold that against you.
Yeah, because
Right.
it's unrealistic.
Yeah, why did you submit something you could never live up to?
Yeah.
Right.
So what I would like to do before we close is, just because I think Brittany is such a delightful person, I want the audience to get to know a little bit more about you. She also, you work in the wedding industry, which I think is important.
Yes.
And I want touch on that for me. Touch on that for me.
Yeah, so the wedding industry is certainly different from the pageant industry.
Well, our pageant girls get married,
Yes.
so they have to have wedding hair.
Exactly.
They have to have wedding.
And there's a lot of beauty in it too, because we watch our pageant girls grow up. I mean, I can think of probably a handful that you've coached, and Corey's done makeup on, I've done their hair, and then they call us and they're like, I'm getting married and I want y'all to be a part of it.
I actually did Amanda's hair at her wedding.
It's
She
so
did.
special.
Hey, I'm gonna need you to walk down the aisle with me, but first, can you do my hair?
Can you do my hair
Surprise,
for me,
surprise.
please?
Yeah, and it's truly, it's so special. And of course, like, that's really what we want. Once again, going back to, like, I treat all my clients like family, because it's a long lasting relationship.
It really is.
But the pageant industry, there's a lot of judgment. I mean, that's what it is. You're going on stage and you're being judged. Your hair, your shoes, your nails, I mean, everything. But in the wedding industry, there's a whole different side of nerves. It's, oh my goodness, the mother's there. I'm giving my baby away. You know, she's getting married. Her wings are having to sprout. So it's emotional, so emotional. And as the artist, we consume so much energy. So much energy. That's why I have to have a good relationship with my man, Jesus Christ, because Lord, I would burn these people.
Patience. Patience.
But within the wedding industry, we find a lot of times, like I said, the AI photos, a lot of individuals are wanting some updos. And they come to me and it looks as though, I mean, the updo is so intricate and so much hair. However, I look at them and I'm like, whoa, babe, we have to humble ourselves. We have to be real with ourselves. You do not have that much hair. Now, on the other side, I have had people come to me with tons of hair. And I'm like, Lord, how am I going to make this bun that small? Because talk about sister wives hair.
Yeah.
But the wedding industry, for some reason, and being, once again, very transparent here, all common knowledge just kind of takes a nap for some odd reason. And what I like to say, every single weekend I experience this, I will be putting a client's hair up and I'll have a girl, bridesmaid, mom, walk by and they'll look at the client and they'll say, oh, what are you doing, putting your hair up? And I'm like, ma'am, her hair's up. Why are you asking that silly question?
What in the world?
Do you mean? And it's the running joke between Corey and I, because he'll like look and he's like, oh, here she goes. And I just cannot handle myself not to be like, well, no, it's up, but I figured I'd put it up before I put it down.
Right.
Just like when you're
Some people in
baking a
situations
cake,
like
you know.
that too, they throw that out there to try to, I don't want to say undermine, but
Right.
have their 2 cents worth.
Yes,
To
we
have their
love
2
the
cents
2
with it.
cents. We love the 2 cents, and I'll give it to you, babe.
Another thing that you made that I think there's the one parallel between weddings and pageants is one thing. I don't think girls should be afraid to ask for a trial.
Oh, absolutely
I noticed
not. I
in our
encourage.
studio, Corey and Brittany are there all the time doing wedding trials.
Yeah.
So girls will know what they're going to look like on their wedding day. I think pageant girls should do the same thing. If you're nervous about using somebody, ask them, can you have a trial with them?
Absolutely.
Right.
Corey and I, we've done a multitude of trials for pageants specifically because it's an art and you want to achieve it. And also, too, we're here to win.
Right.
And so you want to know what you're
Yes.
getting, especially when you're paying for the service. So yeah, I highly encourage a trial. And also too, if you go to the trial and you're like, okay, I want a little less here, I want a little more there, I always tell our clients, that's okay, communicate that with me and we'll
you
make
have
it happen.
time. It's not like you're researching the week before.
Exactly.
Oh, I think I might want this person to do my hair, and then
Exactly.
What do you do? Got
And then
time.
also too, coming the day of the pageant, this is what I want and I've never touched her hair before.
Right.
Right.
You
Doing
have to
that-
be, yeah. You have to be fair.
Yes,
You
yes.
have to be fair. And that was
Exactly.
where you were saying. Before we close,
Yeah.
there's one other little place that the audience can find you.
Yes,
Tell-
absolutely.
Tell them a little bit about that. You were on a reality show.
I was. So yes, I was on Love is Blind season 6 that premieres on Netflix.
And it's still there, right?
It is.
They can still see it.
It is.
Yeah.
So currently now they are on season 9 of Love is
wow.
Blind, which is
Okay.
wild to think about. Going back to March of 23, is when I filmed. The show then came out February 24.
Did you do your own hair on the show?
I did.
Okay.
And a lot of people ask me that. They're like,
Okay.
did you do your own hair and makeup? And I'm like, of course I did. Absolutely.
Who was it? Was it People Magazine that called you the little darling? Or
yes.
America's Sweetheart.
Yeah,
They
America's
called-
Sweetheart.
They called you America's
Yes,
Sweetheart
yes.
on Love is Blind, and then all of a sudden she starts getting flooded with all these. And you
Yeah.
also have a TikTok. Can they follow you on TikTok?
Yes. So on social media platform, let's see, my personal page is Brittany Mills 123. My beauty page is beauty_by_Brittany Mills, and then TikTok is bmills123. So
Okay.
that's where you can find me and follow along. And I actually too do give hair tips and do hair tutorials. So in the case that you're at a wedding and you're a bridesmaid, you can learn how to do your own hair.
That's amazing.
So that way it's a little
I
helpful.
love people who can teach.
Yes.
I love people who can teach.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's all of our time today for our
Okay.
premiere episode of season 2 of the Gowns and Crowns podcast. Brittany, thank you so much for being here
Absolutely.
today. We'll
We
definitely
appreciate
have
you.
you back.
I would love it.
Definitely have
Thank you
back.
for having me. Thank you
Thank
both.
you.
All right. This is Cyrus,
And Amanda,
and this is the Gowns and Crowns podcast. And Amanda, what do we always say?
it's a world of beauty and a universe of possibilities.
See you next time.